Recording. Finding Monster Right.
Roughed up like a douche, another runner in the night.
Finding Monster Right.
She got down, but you didn't got that. You'll make it through the night. You're gonna make it. Finding Monster Right. The show about finding monsters, right?
Right.
I don't know the words to that song. Hi, I'm Allie.
I know fewer words than you. Hi, I'm Adam.
Anyway, we're not doing the fucking episode this this bye week.
Yeah, we're breaking formula here to do another thing in the family of talking Monster Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
what do you call this one?
This is Talking Monster Right, Monsters 101. This is kind of a sequel episode to Talking Monster Right, where we're just going to kind of do our little, talk back show version of our podcast, our little Talking Dead, Talks Machina, that kind of thing.
Back to formula.
Back to formula. I don't know the line.
He says that, not in his most extreme.
Okay.
That's about it. Yes, we're gonna get into the bells and whistles behind the scenes of what goes into an episode.
Mm-hmm. So we've done...
what's the first bell on your list?
Well, we've done 100 episodes of this show so far.
Triptids.
Triptid, yeah. Our longest ever episode was episode 91.
Of course, the film commentary for Nosferatu.
Yes, that clocked in at 85.26666666666 minutes. Why the fuck did I write it like that? God damn it. Shit. Fuck.
It is Nosferatu.
And Nosferatu famously hates fractions.
Yeah, I'm glad that took the trophy away from 100 Deeds for the Great Gazoo, because that was not an intentionally long episode.
Correct. Yes, the Great Gazoo is coming in at number 2 at 68.933333333 minutes. Why could we not? Could we not have gotten that up to 69? Wait. Okay, this episode it will be 69 minutes long.
That's hard to do because sometimes your editing length is different than your recording length.
Well, hold on. I want to keep running down the list here.
Okay, sure.
Third longest episode at 67.71666666 repeating minutes. I'm sure that totals out to some number of seconds. That is 100.
Oh, our one from last week, Mako. The Jaws of Death. 2
weeks ago, yeah. Yeah, and then it was episode 60, which itself was Finding Monster Right, Talking Monster Right. So the snake has eaten its tail. We can look at the least long episodes now.
All right, well, what are the ones that I have some theories.
Oh, I will point out that 50 and 51, I don't have the numbers for that one because you edited those 2 episodes.
I did. I think those are the only 2 I did.
Yeah.
Because they needed a lot of love, and Pokemon editing is my specialty.
All right, so the shortest one, clocking in at 39.566666666 minutes, is episode 26, the Kool-Aid Man episode.
Yeah, that's correct. One episode that most of the way through it we realized that we didn't have much to say.
Yeah. And also there was a long segment about the Jonestown Massacre that I decided was not funny and cut out. That's the Finding Monster Right lost episode.
I mean, it's very funny because the fact that what you described happened.
Yes.
That was a bit that didn't land. And I think that's the best way to describe it.
The bit was that, like, the whole, like, the metaphor of drinking the Kool-Aid That comes from the Jonestown Massacre, which actually used a different brand of flavor powder called Flavor Aid. So, in a way, using the phrase drinking the Kool-Aid is refusing to drink the Kool-Aid of Kool-Aid's brand innovation of associating that name with that product and making it a generic product because, of course, they wouldn't want to be associated with this horrible massacre of a new religion. You kept calling it a new religion, and I'm like, Adam, it's a cult. Just call it a cult. Like
that's what the website referred to it as.
It's
a
not
cult.
My fault. It's Jonestown, my dude. Like, it's the cult. That's like saying, like, Al Capone, famous gang leader, like, famous team manager. Like, he's a gangster. Like, that's what he is. He's Al Capone. Like...
Yeah, so we cut the cult talk out of that one, which brought us down to our lowest one. What's the second lowest?
Second lowest one at 39.83333 minutes is episode 39, the Other Mother episode.
That's a surprise to me. I didn't realize that there's so little left on the bones there.
Yeah, I took out about 8 minutes out of that episode. I'm not sure why.
I think we definitely, in our younger episodes, defaulted to just talking shorter amounts of time about them. So after the edits, they came back down to that small size.
Well, anyway, then at just under 41 minutes is episode 80, which was The Grinch.
Properly short an episode.
Yeah, thank God that wasn't longer.
Well, we committed to the bit on that one, which I think in the hierarchy of our episodes that's among our greatest accomplishments or worst accomplishments, depending on who you might ask.
Yeah, honestly, that was going to be I sprung that bit on you, but that was just a bit that I was going to do. I did not expect you to yes and me, and then you did, and we rocked it.
I think if I didn't, it would have made for a very bad episode. Just me trying to hold a conversation and you, like, pausing, thinking of a rhyme, like, delivering half of it, and me, like, I guess having to not deliver the other half?
You presuppose that I couldn't think about how to write in prose, but I could. I could think faster than anyone could.
It's funny because the rhyme is also in the title and the description. Every inch of the episode has rhyming bits. And listening back, I'm not sure if you caught this, but oftentimes our like rhythms were off, where you were trying to rhyme a different word than I was at the end of certain sentences.
I am so done with the Grinch episode. Yeah, no. I think if you wrote that down, like it would just be like. I think if we wrote it down, we would see like what the other one was trying to do. I swear, like when I listen back to it, like what you are trying to do makes no sense, and what I am trying to do is be a musical prodigy, as I truly am. But like,
maybe I'll transcribe a section of that because I could see it both ways.
Yeah, I could. I'm failing to see your perspective here, and as a normally very empathetic person, that weirds me out whenever something like that happens.
So we'll delve back into that. I would not expect any of our listeners to anything of that caliber in the future. I think as a one and done, we nailed it. We're not ascending to Mount Crumpet again.
Well, anything of that caliber, for sure, we're going to deliver on, and more, but not that specific thing.
Yes. Right, good correction.
All right, so the fourth shortest episode at slightly, I think 40 minutes 59 seconds is episode 43, The Engineer Jesus.
And one of our good episodes from that year, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
That's a top one, and sometimes just because it's short doesn't mean there's any lack of meat on those bones. Every bit of those Geigery bones are just dripping with entertainment.
Very true. Very true. So do we want to talk about how much I edit?
Yes, because we've alluded to it a moment ago. Oftentimes, what's that 8 minutes gets cut? Would you say that's an average?
The average difference of between episodes 1 to 100 is 5.78 minutes of time gets cut out.
Okay.
Our average final length is about 52 minutes.
Which I think that's That number doesn't surprise me. I feel like just under an hour is where, like, it's the perfect commute. So it's the perfect talk commute.
Yeah.
To pair.
I think so. So the episode I edited the most was episode 29, the Elves episode.
Ooh.
Which I cut 24 minutes out of that. And that was, if I recall, like, there was two things that happened there. Number one was that your girlfriend called you about something rather important.
Yes.
And then also I called somebody or something happened.
I may have called her a couple times.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was around Christmas time, and I think she was like trying to get back from somewhere in the snow, and it just sucked.
It was not a good time to record a podcast, but we powered through, and despite it.
Yeah, and the next longest episode, I took 18 minutes, almost 19 minutes out of the Mummy episode, which was due to our, that was due to some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think that was probably our worst one that we've had on record.
Yeah.
As we discussed in the episode later on, a cursed episode in many ways.
A truly cursed episode. Like, we broke the Mummy's curse.
And I think the final product sounds like totally like normal of an episode. So good job on that front.
Thank you. I quite like that episode, actually.
There's a couple versions of it that included new characters being introduced to explain the gaps.
Mm. Oh, yes, that was fun. I did a little bit of Lord Abernath Fauntleroy, who is a character I will bring back at some point. We talked about him in the last episode. Anyway, the next episodes I've cut the most out of, at about 16 minutes each, are Smaug and Animorphs. Animorphs I had a call in the middle of it. Smaug, do you remember any technical difficulties or any calls in the middle of Smaug that would have...
I honestly don't. And that was a recent one. That's the odd part about it. I think that there was a lot of fat around like the skits, around the discussion. So that's my best guess.
Yeah, I don't know why I took out 16 minutes of that. And then episode 38...
Maybe we disconnected for a while. I don't know.
I don't remember. Episode 38, I took out about 12 minutes, and that was the Chupacabra. I don't remember anything like that happening either. Episode 94 was... episode 94 was Bearskin. Folks, I'll be honest. That is our worst episode.
I don't want to give that crown to such a recent episode, but yeah, I mean... looks, we have different topics that we try to go to. Different categories of episodes. And we love doing the Grimm's Fairy Tales. Or we love doing the Grimm's Fairy Tales.
No more.
I think we kind of reached the bottom of that barrel with Bearskin, because listen, there's 200 some fairy tales in those collected works, and crazy stuff happens. A bunch of heads talk to a little girl, like people fall down from the heavens and turn other people into scorpions. Listen, Bearskin seemed like a monster tale, and I wouldn't do another Devil Bargain episode, but it was a lot of just explaining an old tale, and you reacting to it as best as you could.
It was a lot of, Grimm Brothers karaoke, which sucked to edit and did not come out sounding funny.
No, that it was a flawed premise, and I do remember us cutting out a lot getting to that point, because that was not that wonderful karaoke version was not our first attempt.
Oh, no, it truly wasn't it? Anyway, no. The episode I edited the least.
Okay.
The episode that I took negative 30 seconds out of. I actually made it 30 seconds longer by adding the theme song to it. It's Talking Monster Right, the initial one, of course.
Oh, yeah. Just a straightforward us chatting. Uncut gems.
Yeah, we did not cut that gem, and I don't think we're cutting this one either. The shortest or the least edited actual video, or the least edited actual episode is 58, which is Jaws. I only cut out about 0.25 minutes of that. How much is that? Like a little less than 15 seconds. Wow.
Yeah, I think that was you at the peak of you and I at the peak of Monster Apartment chemistry, where like the bits that we were doing like right next to each other landed pretty perfectly. And I didn't counter your recipes for shark fin soup.
Oh yeah, that episode was the one criticism I have of that episode is that we should have planned out the outline. We should have outlined that and had a structure to it.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Anyway, there's a couple of episodes on here, like episode number 1, Wan Shi Tong, episode 61, which is the episode that we've with the shortest raw length at only 43 minutes before the edit, and then episode 70, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. 95, Baba Yaga, which was the episode right after Bearskin, is barely edited because I was like, fuck it. And then episode 10 is the third least edited episode. That is Bigfoot Observer's Field Guide. That one was like, the hits keep coming and they don't stop coming.
Something that we just celebrated episode 100 recently. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think mostly because we like have that was a slow cooked idea. That was something that we dwelled on the most, and probably the episode did the most research for, having read a small book and tagged it up with with highlighted edges and stuff like that.
I really like when we do a lot of research for something. Like I don't know, because I watched 4 movies for King Kong back in the day. And like, I don't know if I've watched multiple movies for an episode ever since then, but honestly, that much research, that kind of research, would be really, really good to do once more.
Yeah, I think that there's some topics that it works out great on, and some not as much. I think, like, for example, Scoutmaster Voorhees, I think we did the perfect amounts. We found the list of Cub Scout traits and applied them. Rumpelstiltskin, I read like 4 different versions of that tale because it was all about because that's what the crux was. What are the differences here?
Mm-hmm.
And other ones we've watched a single movie. And sometimes it's the wrong movie, like Men in Black. MIB might be MIB.
I still like MIB and Starseed. I think that's kind of an alien duology that I quite like.
Starseed, I think, is a one of our best in recent months.
Yeah, a lot of the good ones are like making fun of this crazy person, and that's like Robert W. Morgan. That's Steve the Vampire. That's that one that we just mentioned, Lady. Starseed Lady. Yeah. No, making fun of people is probably the best way to do a podcast, I think.
Our show is a lot about monsters, and part of that process is the going out in the woods of the internet and polling out and waiting to spot some crazies about.
Yeah.
And nothing against the way that some of those people are living their lives. It's just from an observer's perspective, it's rife for monster comedy.
No, and on the flip side, imagine the sadness of a world where everyone is normal.
Absolutely.
That would suck.
We've been celebrating Tribute Tuesday on Twitter,
mm-hmm.
And it's a collection of regular human beings that are entirely irregular, and we love them so much for it.
We have Jack Black, the rat catcher, on there. We have like skadoosh, your rat's kabloosh. Whoa. We have the Jack and Pluralnet, the crocodile maestro. We have Go ahead.
He commands crocodiles to sing from across the world.
We have my personal favorite, William Buckland, the man who described the first dinosaur and also ate panther meat and flies and moles and the preserved heart of Louis XIV. And also he would wear like a graduation cap and gown when he went out into the field and like flap his arms around. The dude's just a maniac. I love him.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing to be able to share, because our show is usually about monsters, creatures, and such. So, the little buddies having them. The actual. I'm glad that there's a spot for them now in our Finding Monster Right canon.
Yes, and speaking of weirdos, it's time to review the Squatchalorette.
So our 69th episode was celebrating the lads and ladies of monsters that you have wanted to give a rose to.
And others.
And others, yes. Where are we now? I think, 6-8 months out from that?
Yes, we are 100 episodes in. We semi-officially retired Squatchalorette after episode 69, when it was revealed that the monster du jour, the succubus, and this is now that we're out of the bit, I do want to say that what I said in that episode was, I think, the most honest I've ever been on this show, and the least funny, but of like, this being it's almost like a DID thing. I don't want to call it that because I've not been diagnosed with that. I don't want to self-diagnose that, but like, things line up, and that's me. Yeah, and I kind of.
I was just saying, it was a very vulnerable moment, and I mean, thanks for sharing that with the audience and me. It's a real, it's something that's important.
You're welcome. Yeah, that was something, and Liz, such as I am, is still my one and only, which I've listed on the Excel document. I figured out how to post a little heart in there.
Okay.
But prior to that episode, I did a smash or pass on most of these monsters. I gave some of them a rose. I gave some of them no rose for various reasons, like they were teenagers, or necrophilia ain't cute, sis, or too much reference humor, or Joker fan and also he's kind of a big worm, is a dog sometimes, triggers my mommy issues, arguably non-Satian, too hairy, eerily silent, Republican energy.
Do you want to pin what these are?
The Republican energy was Paul Bunyan.
Oh, okay.
Some of the Indominus Rex, either non-sapient or my daughter. World Turtle, no, because Adam made it our dad. Kool-Aid Man, no, because the prospect terrifies me. The Pangboche hand is a no, because that's not... oh, God, that's just a dead hand. LL Cool Shark is a no, because he's trying too hard. Steve the Vampire is a no, and I just wrote, are you actually kidding me? Some of the yeses I gave were for yes for Engineer Jesus, because sacrilege is hot. Yes for the Urukai, because they clean up nice. Yes for Grendel's mom, because she's all I want, and I've waited for so long.
Of course.
Yes for the devil, because he's the holy grail of monster fucking.
Fair.
Yes for... Yes for Mind Flayers, because power. I don't know if I would hold up to that. I kind of think I kind of want the power in the... We don't have to get into that too much. Centaurs, yes, because wild and free. That is one thing that holds up about centaurs. I think a centaur episode in our near future would be a good move. We did great redoing the zombies. We should redo centaurs as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll visit them in the coming months.
I also want to redo Animorphs, because I started listening to a bit of the Animorphing Time podcast, and I forgot a lot about Animorphs, and some of the things I said in that episode were lies.
I think we've logged a couple corrections throughout our runs. Have we corrected yet on the sandworms?
No. Yes. That's actually coming up soon.
Okay.
Okay, but in the meantime, so of the 82 monsters that were ranked in the Squatchlerette before episode 69, we had, guess what percentage I said yes to? What percentage of monsters did I smash on the Smash or Pass?
Can I get 2 guesses and tell me higher or lower?
Yes.
All right, my guess is going to be 69%.
Lower.
Okay. I'm guessing 54%.
Lower.
Really? 39%?
37.8%.
Wow, that's I am surprised by your well, we never mind. That is the correct. That is the correct number. I just went through the cast really quickly of monsters that we've had. I'm like,
surprised.
There's a lot of.
I'm surprised that the meme that you are a huge slut is not true, Allie.
Well, I'm just thinking it over. I'm like, there's owls and dogs and little green aliens.
Honestly, yeah. Well, the little green aliens, maybe not Greg Kazoo though. I don't think we ranked him because he was after episode 69. I'm pretty sure, but no, I'm not about that. No, he wasn't. Still no though.
Yes.
All right. So the next one is, did we fix anything? And if not, whose fault was it? This is something I ripped directly from Keenan and Kel with Adam and Aaron.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I didn't really get through a lot of this, but mostly we succeed at our tasks.
Yay!
Like we uncovered the conspiracy of Organism 46B. Whose fault was that? Vladimir Putin for being a threat to global democracy and also for doing this weird octopus shit. Also Adam's dad for not checking his sources. And the Brothers Grimm for trying to sabotage our beat trip.
Okay, what are some failures of ours?
Some of our failures include episode 40, discover who runs the Pokemon world. Success? No. Whose fault was it? Adam and Toby for knowing too much about Pokemon.
I'll cop to that. That's no problem.
Determine whether Clifford is a kaiju, and if so, what his deal is. Success, yes. Whose fault was it? Travis, for daring to propose that Clifford is anything less than the best boy.
Certainly let's see, we've got some other successes too. What was AWA? 48.
Oh, I did not get that far.
Oh, fair enough. Because I don't think I think.
Okay, this is the big one though.
Yeah.
So, the task for episode 37: learn how to destroy giant sandworms. Success. If you just listen to the episode, it's a success, but I have to say no. And the the reason for that is I read somewhere. Whose fault was it? The co-host. This is before I did a name reveal. The co-host for misinterpreting the sandworm's ability to eat people. On Wikipedia, it says that sandworms can eat people, but a normal human has more water than a sandworm can tolerate. Now, to me, the word tolerate means if you can't tolerate it, you die from it.
Like you can't tolerate avocados or something. You have an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
And die.
But no, sandworms in Dune definitely do eat people a bunch. It happens. But then the sentence on Wikipedia is very misleading. Then I don't fully blame myself for that, but I should have looked more into that or just thought about it a little, honestly.
Yeah, and that's fair. It's as you just blamed my dad for a few questions ago. You do have to check your sources in some cases, and
it's true.
Of all the fantasy series I know, I'm not super familiar with Dune, and we did that a little bit before the 10 months before the movie came out.
Yep.
it was a cold ground at the moment, and I don't think anyone called us out on it, but I agree that it was one of those where I'm like, we took a big swing at something that was not true.
No, I think
or frequent swings. I especially took frequent swings at this falsity.
Well, yes, but that's because I misled you. I think the fault is not on you at all.
If I ever write a Dune parody one day, the worms will die if they eat one person.
That's a very funny way to solve this problem, I think. Anyway, the last thing I have on here is the final rating place, but you know what? About half of these seem to be missing. You should have gone for the head. All right. Final rating place is cleared.
Oh, we're starting anew?
We are starting fully anew. So, Adam, what rating out of 10 would you give zombies? Some of these ratings make no goddamn sense, Adam, so I've snapped them all away.
Right, but we can't rank every single monster.
I think we can. Rank zombies. Don't think, just say.
5.
5. I'm gonna go ahead and say 7. Centaurs.
Don't think. 6.
3. Philly Fanatic.
8.
2. Gritty.
It's 4.
2 also. Paul Bunyan.
I think he's a 4.
3. Frog People.
Frog People would be like a 2.5.
I'm gonna full on give that a 5. Xenomorph Daughter.
8.5.
10 out of 10. She may be a queen, but she's still my princess. Ah, no, I did it again.
Well,
fuck, this was my chance to redeem that, but no.
Alright, I'm gonna raise the flag a little bit. And I don't know if the audience wants to hear us go numerically through every single monster.
Okay, so there's just no final rating place then. It's gone.
I mean, like, what you want to get new values for every monster?
Yeah, because otherwise, like, the Phoenix will be our highest rated monster, and I think the Inner Circle is no longer our lowest ranked monster.
Well, here's the thing. If we just kind of shoot from the hip and renumber all these, then that's almost as bad as not thinking about to begin with.
Okay, fine.
Well, I appreciate the incentive, and I do want to point out that yes, we did give the Phoenix we both gave it 10s.
No.
A move that we regretted shortly after.
No, you gave it 6.5 out of 10. I gave it 10.5 out of 6. This totaled to 120%. In the Necromancer episode, in our anniversary episode, I ranked the Necromancer 120% in order to make it higher than the Phoenix, because I did not know what the Phoenix number was, but I knew it was, like, more. Did I rank it at 150 or 106? It doesn't... The point is, do you have any ratings that you'd like to edit?
Yes, any ones that I want to retract or alter?
Yes.
Do you have my Kitsune score?
Your Kitsune score is... You gave it a 9 out of 10, and our average was 9 out of 10 for all of them.
Yeah, I think, Ben was there, we were having a good time. I think that night I went to bed, I'm like, wait a second. we made Kitsune cool, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably, personally go down to an 8.
Okay. I will point out that most of your ratings are 8 out of 10. Almost. Not only is that your average rating, it is also, like, the most common rating. Like, 50% of your ratings are, like, 8 out of 10.
And I think that going forward, this is something that we should address. The final rating place is I'm almost guaranteed to give an episode and, like, you know, oh, that's pretty good. That's usually my vibe at the end, and usually that's my approach to the monster.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I gotta shrink my scale. Maybe I gotta do like a 4-star system.
Then you'll just give it like 3.5 stars every time, though.
I'll give everything a 4-star.
No, you'll give everything a 3.5 star. Because that's like slightly less than perfect. Okay.
Do we have like a barter system? Do we put something up for
the Phoenix? The Phoenix, I'm gonna chop down with the edge of my hand, Voodoo Child style. I'm gonna knock the Phoenix down to a where is he on here? Where's that son of a bitch? There we go. I'm gonna knock it down to a 50%. Chop it down with the edge of my hand. And Necromancer remains 120. The inner circle, I think there's accidentally something that is now lower than that. So we got to take it down from. We got to take the inner circle down from 1999. I'm gonna give it a hot 0.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
No, I'm gonna give it a -1.
Oh, damn. Really fuck those guys.
You know what? -19.
Just future-proof it. Give them, like, below dirt. And they're keeping a god hostage in our own world. I will die on this hill.
-19.
This knob.
Yes, I will die on this knob. Something it's something I've said quite a lot. Well, I was going to use this as an excuse to kind of quickly revisit 100 episodes very quickly and kind of just like do a little comment about each one of them, but you shut that shit down. So instead, we're just going to talk about this is a part of the podcast that I'm going to call criticism.
All right.
So,
Adam, I thought you were too mean 5 minutes ago.
Here's the situation. We are both very self-effacing people. Me especially.
You especially.
You're fine with it, but I'm bad. I'm the worst. So, I find it very difficult to distinguish actual self-criticism from just my background radiation of thinking that everything I do is bad.
Okay.
I don't know if you're the same way, but I imagine so. This is a totally normal way to be, right?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
I can't tell if I'm actually fucking up, or if that's just my, like, that feeling that I feel all the time that I'm fucking everything up always.
I see what you're saying, yes.
So then I'll actually fuck something up and not notice. Because I'm like too busy worrying about like, oh man, one of my shoes is dirtier than the other. People are gonna think my shoes don't match and that I'm a freak, and then they'll think that I'm a weirdo and they'll run me out of town on a rail. And meanwhile, like, I'm ignoring the fact that I'm walking into traffic on those dirty shoes.
Right. I follow the perfectly.
Yes. So I can't criticize myself very well. I want you to criticize me. What notes do you have for me, your beloved, wonderful cousin Allie? So pretty, so smart, so really cool and stuff, and just, like, so great at everything. I'm sorry, it's just that, like, I'm so smart and dumb. It's dumb, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's see here. Shooting from the hip here.
Hmm?
I think that sometimes, often our episodes, one of us is in the lead, and the other one's, like, following behind.
Yep.
That works out pretty well, in most cases. Sometimes it's one of us has led too far away, and the other is lost in the weeds. I felt that way in a couple episodes, so I guess my note going forward is that make sure you always toss the, check behind you, toss a lead my way, make sure I'm following when you're heading down a path.
You son of a bitch! No, okay, good. How dare you? Okay, good. No,
probably
that's
the nicest thing I ever said about someone.
That's probably the nicest criticism you could have levied my way.
All right. So, I'll extend the favor. What criticisms do you have for me that doesn't involve a mouth sound that I might make?
No, it's the mouth sounds. It's fully the mouth sounds. It's obnoxious and horrible to listen to. Okay, that's too mean. It's bad to listen to. You edit yourself. You know that you have a stuttering problem.
I do.
You have a stuttering problem. There's like frequently times where it seems like the version of Adam that is talking to Allie. And I've noticed this. It's especially when we're recording over like online rather than in person. You get more nervous. And also, if we have a guest on, you get less nervous. If that guest is Alex, essentially the stutter goes away. It's remarkable, which is very adorable.
You pointed that out, and in the future I must perceive that she's in the room with me, so I can just deliver with more confidence. It's an old habit of mine. I'll be honest. It comes from my stand-up days. When I would deliver stand-up on stage, the persona that I built for myself was someone who gets some laughs and rides that energy of being kind of frantic, kind of nervous, and that unfortunately that's my default talk pattern over podcasts when no one's in the room with me. So sometimes I try and harness that energy, that insane energy, and to me it gets very funny. But I can totally see how you could get lost in it, and it's a bitch to edit. So I'll do my best in the future to deliver a little more smoothly, a little more calmly.
Okay. I do have some fixes for this.
Oh, please. Do I have to, put an onion on the bottom of my foot or something like that?
Yes, you have to put a cabbage leaf under your hat, like Babe Ruth. That's a sports fact I know. I know sports facts sometimes.
That's not one I was aware of.
Yeah.
Did he eat it later?
I don't know. But anyway, so my fixes for this problem are, number one, and this is also a criticism of me, actually. The persona that I kind of want to put out is I am really fucking smart and really fucking cool when Adam's not here. Not only is the persona of Adam talking to Allie a super nervous version of Adam, that can be mitigated by the introduction of other people. But the version of Allie that talks to Adam is just I don't know, it's very juvenile, and I feel like I'm not as smart as I could be, and I don't feel like I'm cultivating kind of a mysterious Doctor Strange sort of curator of monster curios and all that sort of thing. I could be a cool fancy museum owner kind of vibe, and that's just not my public persona. My public persona is fish stick. I love the shape of
one of my shoes is dirtier than the other one.
One of my shoes is dirtier than the other one, and I like the shape of Waterman's fish stick.
So you're talking about kind of shedding that layer.
Fuck that layer.
And aging yourself up a little bit in terms of the podcast perspective.
What I'm simply saying is I'm tired of the finding monster right, the monster fucker kind of aspect of it being all Dicks and Balls South Park humor instead of actually talking about
go on. Actually talking about what?
I'm trying to piece this together. A perfect example is when Alex mentioned Slenderman's dick in the recent episode that she guested on. I would never even thought to bring up the actual any actual concerns about that. Or any actual concerns about not just sexuality. And when I say sexuality, I don't just mean the act of sex itself. I mean dating. I mean intimacy, not just intimacy. Actually partnership.
Okay.
You know, and like, I feel like the elements of like dating, of being in a relationship and all that sort of thing, like more mature humor can come from that rather than like the whole like.
Yes. And I think I got the wrong angle from it. And I would agree. And let's I mean we can pick up here.
Yeah.
I think that taking the going from monster fucker into hey, let's actually explore monsters in a kind of romantic setting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Going from
not so much. Don't go crass with it. Go the opposite of blue, whatever that is.
Don't go crass. Go class.
That is a great way to boil down the philosophy. Yeah, let's like truly get into the. I love getting into the concept of we have to take the Frankenstein monster home to like hypothetical parents.
Yeah,
like how would that go down?
This is exactly what I was trying to say. Take the sexual aspects, class it up a little. That's me. Being a caretaker, caring for the person you're with, like being a protector, that kind of vibe. That's my energy. That's what I'm trying to bring. That's the actual maturity that I want to bring into this.
We're not doing like Tinder for monsters. We're talking about like, let's see, let's go, let's talk about it in a more mature setting.
Yeah. Me primo, I know we said no cuts, but that little segment's gonna get chopped and screwed pretty bad.
Yeah, which is fine. Thank you for that, because I wanted to. It came through nice and clear.
Yes, I think
we're
we
on the
figured
same page now.
Yeah, class it up a little.
Class it up.
That and also like we need more structure for sure. Mm-hmm. I think that's gonna like. Chaos is good and all, but I want to contain the chaos within little bits. Like, I want to follow a logical procedure so that, like, if someone actually listens to the show, like, with power, like, they can be like, oh, this should be on TV.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of crazy loose topics in the past, but I think us doing an episode and knowing when it's over just from the format of it will help us.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I want to court sponsors. I'm saying, like, I want something that is a quality product. I want something with a structure that you can follow. Yep.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of different monster series in prep for some episodes, like Monstrum, for example. And if we can one day deliver the caliber and of that quality, like they have their format down pat, and it seems professional AF.
Completely agree.
If we can get more professional, I'm for it.
We can. Like, I'm reading like ancient tomes and old academic papers and like looking up artifacts, and I'm like going out into the woods and like rescuing amulets and shit. Like, that's like, I put work into researching for this show, and I want to show that off more. I want to like have a more academic kind of persona, you know?
You want to showcase it. You don't want to just show up with a bunch of, like, assorted papers, like, falling over.
I want to be the monster Doctor Strange. I want to be Doctor Strange and live in a monster mansion, and that is the vibe you get from me. Like a dark academia sort of thing, you know? I want to reinvent my personality on the podcast and class it up a little.
All right. I think it's a great, commitment going forward.
Yeah, and furthermore, I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
I speak publicly, professionally, and it's always been something I'm good at. Mm-hmm. Would you like to maybe workshop? And this is not come lightly. I don't like criticizing you because you've helped me out a lot in a lot of ways throughout my whole life, really, recently especially. But would you like if I helped workshop with you a little bit of public speaking tips to maybe try and nail back on the stutter? You say that a lot of it comes from like your instincts during stand-up and maybe like relearning kind of old habits.
Yeah, and it's not something that we'll be able to go overnight, but if you have a tip right now, I'll happily take it, or we can talk about it a little afterwards.
Yeah, that might work. Tip right now would be just kind of like, I guess it would kind of be just like reinvent the Adam persona into someone who is like, who is
confident. perhaps.
Give it a name. Forget about Adam, the real human person. Adam, the Finding Monster Right co-host. Who's that?
Yeah, I haven't dwelled on as much as you have, so I'll definitely come back with something. But I agree. I could see myself as, if you're the classy monster Doctor Strange, I almost want to be the Van Helsing type that comes in to the castle.
Okay.
And that's us working out together. Is that I'm an expert in my own field, but it might not be the weird one that I found myself in.
Okay, we can talk about this dynamic, but this is very good. I like this. I like how there's a dynamic to it now.
Yeah, that could be our Abbott and Costello, pairing.
Yeah,
our Keenan and Kel.
Is there a female Doctor Strange? I guess Scarlet Witch, kind of, but this latest film is really throwing all of that tipsy-topsy on its head. And I mean...
a lady Doctor Strange would be called Doctor Strange.
That's true. Okay. Fucking, you don't miss, Adam. I love you so much.
All right, thanks. I love you too. This is a great piece of media that we throw out every bye-week now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're committed to kind of, souping up our personas, delivering top quality content for our next rounds of episodes.
For the next 100 episodes.
So what's do you have anything else on your list?
I think that's it. I think that's everything. The last thing I have on here, which is also not finished, is Origins. And, I started listing all the origins of some of our monsters. Most of them are American pop culture, of course. Some of them are Gothic literature, fairy tales, Christian mythology, Japanese mythology, Native American mythology, even with the world turtle. But it's a lot of very Western stuff. It's a lot of Norse, Greek, American pop culture, some Slavic mythology, which is cool. But Zahak, for example, we did Persian mythology, and I thought that was a great little dip. So I think next episode, and going forward into 2022, as we initially promised about this year, I want to do more non-Western kind of monsters, and I think we have a good one lined up for next week. Yes, and I've found some in my research as my travels across the internet. So I think that that's a very good one for when it's you and I. People have seen our take on American pop culture, and I think in the future we're also going to try to get more guests. Yes. So maybe we might do something a little more, easier to swallow with them. I like that idea. So this sounds like a great plan going forward. I'm glad that we have these. Was it every 50 episodes of performance review of sorts? Yeah. We refocus. We get back on track. Yeah, honestly, this felt very good. I like the part where I freaked out on you after a very normal, nice criticism. I feel like you were afraid of criticizing me, and so I just, played into that fear. It's a highlight moment. Yeah. Of the next 100 episodes, so... Honestly, kind of a raw performance review, I thought we got down to the bone in that. Yeah, we're doing some, hey, get your shit together. Yeah. Be who you want to be. Barbie girl. We're not normally that, I think we're not normally that serious on the show. I think if I'm a listener of this program, I'm like, damn. Now I'm stuttering. What the fuck? I would say, damn. I'm glad they're not going through 200 numbers, though. Yeah, it was that or 200 numbers, you motherfuckers. If you would prefer 200 numbers, write to us. findingmonsterright@gmail.com or @monsterrightpod on Twitter. Yeah. Leave us a voicemail at anchor.fm/findingmonsterright, something I think no one's ever done about anything. No, I don't think I've seen one happen. Why would you? It's there. Don't do that, actually. That's weird.
We do thrive on your reviews and word of mouth, so if you enjoy our show, share one of your favorite episodes with a friend. We promise a lot of great episodes coming up.
Yeah, I might move to Tumblr to kind of get off of the whole Twitter thing. I don't know. Twitter's weird.
If we can get a Tumblr page and to share like the same types of content that we share, I'm for it. Whoever can get more attention.
I gotta figure out how Tumblr works first. Maybe I should just kind of learn as I go, And that's the way to do things.
I think you post a picture with a little white or black triangle on the top to indicate the comment above it was said by someone, some kind of character.
Yeah, that is a meme on Tumblr from a while back.
That's the one thing I know about Tumblr.
All right, well, goodbye, listeners. Thank you for listening. We love you. This is a parasocial relationship now.
We will see you in June.
I love you. All right, got it. Wait, let's record for 9 more minutes so we can get to 69.